Hey everyone, and welcome back to Timeless. I love this new deck. The last video I posted of it was my first few games with it when I had just seen it a couple of times on ladder and I asked for a deck list. I've been playing it nonstop since then, and I'm currently 10 wins, 4 losses, and 14 best of threes. This deck seems pretty legit, and we're talking about it on Discord. A bunch of people are trying to iterate on this deck on Discord. People are making changes. Some people are trying to put black in the deck. Some people are trying to play Deathrite Shaman. Some people are playing Emperor of Bones. Some people are playing more red cards. There's a lot of interesting ways that you can take this deck. For this video, we're going to keep it to more or less the same list as last time. I did make a couple of tweaks. The one of channel is pretty free. I don't think I had that last time in the video. And I also added cash grab as redundant copies of the Rumble. But this is more or less what we ran it with last time, and we're just going to run it back with this again. And I'm definitely going to play this deck again because it's so much fun. So I'll try a variant of it in the next video, and we'll see what variant is really cool. See what we can do there. For this deck tech, I'm going to just quickly go over the common play patterns of the deck if you're not familiar with it. If you're familiar with the classic shift and tell list, it does play somewhat similar because the mana base is constructed really similarly. You can see we're really cheating on land count. We only have 21 in the deck, which is very few for a deck that wants to cast 4 drops on turn 4, sometimes turn 3, right? What gives? Well, it's because we have all these green card filtering effects. So as long as we have one green mana source in play, we can play Rumble, Cash Grab, or Seed of Hope to set up our subsequent land drops and mill us a bunch while we do that. So this lets us have effectively a lot higher land count than we actually have. It's also a reason why we don't have that many copies of Faithless Looting in the deck. I was talking to someone on Discord, and they were saying 4 looting could be quite good, and I agree that 4 looting can be quite good if you build the deck a little bit differently, to always use looting on turn 1. But generally, the play pattern with this deck is, on turn 1, you're either fetching a Surveil land or you're doing Seed of Hope. Turn 2, you're going to fill your graveyard with Cash Grab or Rumble if you get the opportunity to. And then on turn 3, you play either Fable or Sneak Attack, or sometimes on turn 3, you play Looting instead to set up your graveyard for a turn 4 win with Woodland. You don't always want a Looting on 1 because you don't have the cards you want to discard in your hand yet. Sometimes you loot on the same turn that you're going to win on, and looting operates very well in that space because it's just 1 mana. So if you have 5 mana total, 1 mana on looting, 4 mana on activating Woodlands to win the game. It's really, really awesome. So I've been going back and forth in my head whether or not we could support more copies of this, what the correct number is. The thing is, Fable the Mirror Breaker provides a very similar effect where we play it on turn 3 or 4, and then it discards the cards into our graveyard for Woodland, and then we activate Woodland. In my opinion, I'd rather have 6 or 7 copies of Fable the Mirror Breaker, I think. At least that's my current thinking, than have any copies of Faithless Looting. But it's something we can iterate on and something we could think about as we play the deck. So more often than not, we don't get the instant win on turn 3, but this deck can pretty easily do it. On turn 1, you do the Surveil land, like I said, or the Seed of Hope, and then turn 2, you Rumble. Rumble is going to give you an extra mana, and Rumble can easily get you shifting Woodlands. If you, for example, have your 7-card opening hand, look at 2 cards with Seed of Hope, 4 cards with Malevolent Rumble, that's already 13 cards, you get 2 draw steps in there as well. 3 if you're on the draw, so that's 15 or 16 cards that you get to look at. You just need to hit your combo, with those few cards, with all the cards that you mill there, or have it in your hand for Sneak Attack. It is very possible to get the combo on turn 3. It doesn't happen very often to me, but it is possible to Seed of Hope Rumble into the combo on turn 3. You have 3 lands in play, plus the Eldrazi spawn, Shifting Woodland, copy up God Pharaoh's Gift, and then you're immediately throwing an Ulamog in, or sometimes you're only throwing an Inferno Titan in, but that's still very, very good on turn 3. However, the point of this deck is not to turbo the combo. What I love about this deck is that it gives you options. On turn 3, most often we're playing the One Ring, if we can, ahead of schedule off that Rumble mana. Sometimes we'll play it on turn 4, and if we don't have the 4 mana, we can play Fable the Mirror Breaker. And both of these cards really enable us to sculpt our hand, to dig through our deck to find the necessary pieces to win the game, to set up a win on turn 4 or turn 5 really, really consistently. And that's what I think the strength of this deck is that you're very, very consistently doing it on turn 4 or turn 5, and every card in your deck is card selection or the combo. Card selection, card selection, card selection, card selection, card selection, card selection. Over here. Combo, 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 all combo pieces. And then we have Fury to tie the room together to absolutely murder all those Fear decks out there. It's also just a backup combo target because God Pharaoh's Gift making a 4/4 double striker is really not that bad. And then we of course have Channel for free wins. I got a turn to Channel Ulamog earlier today when I wasn't recording, and it was absolutely, absolutely sweet. I do love this configuration of the deck. That's why I haven't changed it that much. Inferno Titan really overperformed. I was surprised with how good this goofy little card is. It does a lot. It's like a better version of Fury when you are cheating it into play, so I'm very happy to have it. Titan of Industry is a great card to have in this last flex slot because it is very relevant against the top two decks in the format. It's sweet against Show and Tell because it's like cards like Leyline Binding and Static Prison, or if your opponent Show and Tells, you put this into play in response, and then the trigger can destroy the Omniscience that your opponent put into play, which is really, really sweet. But then against energy, like all of these modes that it has are very relevant. You can destroy their like artifact and enchantments that they're playing as a hate piece, or just something like Goblin Bombardment that's very good, or something like a Static Prison that was removal. You can make yourself gain life when you're getting beat down. You can make a blocker when you're getting beat down. You can put a shield towner on the Titan to make sure that you can beat them down. So this is a really sweet like secondary target to have in the deck. I love it so much. And of course, these two cards don't go anywhere. That's your main combo that you're trying to do. And I've cast quite a few big Ulamogs so far. Sideboard cards, I'm not going to make any changes. I think this is pretty good. We probably could change it a little bit, but I haven't thought too much about it right now. The matchup that we are absolutely trying to beat in the sideboard is Show and Tell. So if anybody has better Show and Tell tech than just jamming Vexing Baubles, let me know. Because I think now that I've played this deck a bunch, I know we lost to Mardu Energy in the first video, but like just crushes energy decks. Energy decks traditionally have trouble with combo decks. Even when you play Mardu and you play Juggernaut Peddler, combo decks can still give you trouble. The fact that a combo deck is just playing for Fury and it's cheating Inferno Titans to play is like such bullshit. It dunks on energy. It is not a stupidly favored matchup where you're 99% to win. Well, it depends on what variant of energy your opponent's on. If they're on Boros, then you're very, very likely to win. Someone jammed a Blood Moon on me earlier today, and I still won just by Bosejuing it, and then we force a Vigor for Blood Moon as well. When you're playing against Boros, you definitely bring in these forces because, like, it's not just Blood Moon. You're also going to blow up on Licensed Hearse, Static Prison, whatever sideboard card, Pithing Needle that they brought in against you. This is going to blow it up. Brotherhood's End is also fantastic at blowing up those cards, and this is a red card. So it's fine. Brotherhood's End doesn't hit Blood Moon, but it does hit the other sideboard cards. So I don't think Boros is that much of a problem. The Mardu that's like really meta-gamed against Show and Tell, Shift and Tell, where they're exiling cards from your hand, it will give you slightly more trouble, but I still think it's a good matchup if you're just playing Fury, and they can't do anything about the card Sneak Attack other than Pithing Needle it. So I've very often killed with Sneak Attack when I'm in those matchups. I think that's it on my initial thoughts with the deck. Like, I think this is sweet. I'm going to keep working on it. I'm not going to declare this to be a top deck in the meta just yet, but we have a lot of people working on it. If you want to work on it, please join the Discord and get cooking. Let's get to the games. All right, game one shifting. We are going to be on the draw. We have an interesting hand. This is a weird hand because the first Godfarer's Gift goes under the Ugin's Labyrinth, but the second one is kind of dead. I think this is still very much fine to keep. We have multiple lines of attack. We can rumble into a Shifting Woodland and do the thing from the graveyard, or we can sneak attack in this Inferno Titan, sneak attack in whatever we draw. Our opponent has no companion, so I think unfair, but we do have mana acceleration here. Oh, yo, Basic Mountain. Let's go. All right, this deck clobbers Basic Mountain decks with our Furies. Here we're just surveilling, of course. All right, let's go ahead and surveil here. I guess my opponent's just on Companionless Energy. Probably playing that Ranger Captain of Vios. We'll go ahead and put... do we want extra land drops? It's probably a good idea to make sure we hit all of our land drops, right? And then here we can rumble. I'm going to wait to play this Ugin's Labyrinth until I actually need the mana, which will probably be next turn. So let's go ahead and rumble here. So it's really neat. Oh my god, this is awesome. That's an Ulamog. Wait, there's two approaches. So I'm going to have enough mana to activate Sneak Attack next turn, which is so awesome, because I'm going to get extra mana here and 1 mana here, so I'm going to 5 mana. Play and activate Sneak Attack. We are not ready to sneak in an Ulamog, because nothing's in exile. So I'm thinking about maybe One Ring's better. I don't think so, though. Let's just put Ulamog into our hand. I think Ulamog will probably be fine enough to beat our opponent as a 7/7, or we could just put something into exile later. Oh no, wait, I'm stupid. I am gonna have something in exile. I'm gonna exile God Pharaoh's gift to Ugin's Labyrinth. I'm gonna have a 7-drop in exile, and I'm going to murder my opponent. Oh, nice play by our opponent. We will not have sneak attack mana next turn then. That is good by them. We will be able to play sneak attack, but we won't be able to play and activate it at the same time. But my opponent's just like a very slow energy deck, so it's not like they're really going to interact with us anyway. So Ugin's Labyrinth, Imprint, God Pharaohs. We have a 7 mana card in exile. This means that we will get 7 counters on our Ulamog. It took me a little bit of time to realize that. But yeah, we're good to go. We're good to win. And even if they somehow play Black Source Thoughtseize, let's take the Ulamog, we could just sneak in the Inferno Titan and buy a bunch of time. And then once Inferno Titan dies, we can just start copying it with Shifting Woodland. Inferno Titan's just really overperformed. When I first saw the deck list, I'm like, okay, it's just like an extra red card that's here for Fury, and it's a Fury analog that you could sneak attack into play, but no, this card's pretty baller. It's sweet. It is like a repeatable Fury attack. The Fury style effect happens when it both enters the battlefield and attacks, so when you're sneak attacking it in, you get 6 damage out of nowhere. It is 12 total damage face if your opponent has no blockers, which is awesome. Sure, it's not a one-shot kill most of the time, but it's enough to control the board and get your opponent's life total low enough that anything else will kill them. All right, Guide of Souls coming through. And we're going to haste up something. Yep, hasted up a Johnny, you got it.
Where shall we hunt today?
Right, opponent's got a lot of permanents, but unfortunately they're going to have to sacrifice pretty much all of them here. So let's go ahead and drop an Ulamog. And for good luck, we can also drop an Inferno Titan. Kill your cats. Goodbye, opponent. Yeah, this deck absolutely clobbers energy. Oftentimes I like to have a lot more sideboard slots for energy when I'm playing a non-energy deck, but I think we really only need the 2 in Brotherhood's End here. We really don't need more board wipes than this because we have Inferno Titan and Fury in the deck already. Fury is just so awesome to have access to in a combo deck. Also for Boros, since this is straight Boros and not Mardu, I fear Blood Moon, so we want to bring in Force of Vigor. I think Haywire Might's pretty okay as well. We're going to take out the channel because my opponent is going to be beating me down a lot. Then we just need to think about what the other cuts are going to be. And I'm not sure, actually. I waffle back and forth every time I've been sideboarding with this deck so far. I think you can get rid of like some of these effects down here. Like we can go ahead and get rid of the 2 looting and we don't lose too much. And then maybe we can cut one of our targets for our combo, but they're all pretty decent. I think we can maybe cut Titan of Industry and cut a Seed. It's a little tough though. Yeah, let's try to run it back like this. Trying to think if there's any other changes. I definitely want 4 rings. Do I want less Fables? No, we need discard effects. So, because we already got rid of Faithless Lootings, we definitely do want the Fables. Sneak Attack is very good against their deck. The only card they have that answers it really is Static Prison. Yep, let's keep it like this. All right, 1 lander, not quite gonna cut it, even though we have all these cool cards to really contain the energy board. If this was a 2 lander, it would be the best keep ever with Fury and Brotherhood's End. Ugh. Okay, we go to 5. We get bad beats sometimes. We'll keep the God Pharaoh's gift to imprint onto the Labyrinth, and then hopefully we just get a little lucky and we draw a sneak attack target and we do the thing, right? That's a lot of pride, you got it. We will take the hit. My opponent's board might snowball a little bit, so hopefully we'll be able to answer it. You could surveil first. Just don't play another cat. That would be a little excessive. Yeah, free Flage to the graveyard. That's big value. Right, no follow-up, which is awesome. Awesome for us. Commercial district, surveilling. We don't need another sneak attack. I think I'd rather have this one in the graveyard to potentially copy. That is a rumble, as they say. Interesting. So we might be able to play and activate the sneak next turn. Let's imprint the God Pharaoh's gift. Rumble. Oh, I wanted to hit a big stupid creature here. We'll put another Ugin's Labyrinth into our hand, but I really wanted a big stupid creature because we had enough mana to play and activate Sneak next turn if we went ahead and fetched a red source here. Oh well. At the end of the world, we can get a Surveil land to fix our draw if we don't draw something good. And we will have a Sneak attack in play, forever threatening to do something pretty crazy. Bathing Needle, yep. They might name Sneak, they might name Shift. We haven't shown them the Sneak yet from our hand. We showed it to them last game, of course. They do name Sneak, okay. Well, we can force it, which is pretty good. We can actually pay the mana for force, which is awesome. What we could do here is maybe Seed of Hope. Just trying to think about my lines here. We could play Sneak Attack in Seed of Hope, and then next turn just Force of Vigor their thing. Seed of Hope's goal would be to hit a creature that we can sneak in. I like that idea, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll play the Sneak. Play a Verdant Catacombs. We're going to fetch basic here. And Seed of Hope. And then we have 3 looks to find a nice creature to sneak into play. We could also try to find like a Shifting Woodland, which would be pretty good but not perfect. Because we still don't have a stupid creature. We're ready to copy God Pharaohs, of course. We could also find something like a One Ring. A One Ring would be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we're going to get bolted. Yeah, One Ring would be absolutely dope if we could hit that card. Fable is also pretty acceptable. There's a lot of cards that are pretty acceptable to hit off of Seed of Hope or our draw step, and that's 3 cards that we get to look at, so there's a pretty good shot that we're okay. But you know, we don't exactly have enough mana to force... Oh, they're gonna rip me apart? Okay, sure. Never mind. Okay, let's seed on our end step here. Get seed. One Ring. I mean, that's a card I said I wanted, right? So let's go ahead, play the One Ring, and then we can grab a Surveil land off of Wooded Foothills. We'll draw, Surveil, draw a bunch of cards next turn, and hopefully that drawing turns into a win. We can blow up that Pithing Needle and copy Sneak Attack out of our graveyard. Though realistically, why would we copy Sneak when we can copy God Pharaohs, right? We just need a big stupid creature to show up somewhere. Alright, let's go ahead. Oh, I wanted to draw then Surveil, but whatever. Potato on the sequencing. Let's draw Seed. Fable, cool. Another One Ring, that's going to be a good one. Yeah, we're going to want to play another One Ring here. Yes. Just in case we draw 7-drop here. Oh, a Brotherhood's End, that's fantastic. We'll go ahead, play Wooded Foothills, we'll Seed of Hope on end step, and then we'll Brotherhood end their board. And now we have all the time in the world to like put our combo together. Could escape Flage if they wanted to. I don't know why they really... I mean, they totally could. It would get them a life gain trigger, their pride would get going. It also does dodge my board wipe, but my opponent doesn't know that. Let's go ahead and fetch before we Seed of Hope, just to thin the deck that tiny bit. Seed here. Take another One Ring, man. Can't argue about rings. Wait, Rumble, that's pretty cool. I think we can cast Rumble first because it's pretty free. Then we can Brotherhood's End. Hey, that's Ulamog God Pharaoh's gift, so that's the big stupid that we wanted to show up in the graveyard. We can hard cast God Pharaoh's gift next turn, so put that in my hand. Oh, you know what? Just realized if I do board wipe, they can murder me with Flage. I want to play another One Ring. Play another One Ring, and then I also want to Brotherhood's End if possible. We can do that if, well, actually, let's draw some cards. Draw cards first, of course. Okay, we hit Shifting Woodland. Oh, we hit Shifting Woodland. So now we just do God Pharaoh's Gift in Graveyard, Ulamog. We have a 7-drop in Exile. All right, we found our way there. A little roundabout. God Pharaoh's Gift. Kept this untapped for no reason. Also, while we're here, I think we might as well just like mow down their board to make sure that the Annihilator does make them sacrifice every single permanent. 1, 2, 3, 4. So notably, God Pharaohs isn't target, so even if they have a surgical here, I could still grab like Fury out of my graveyard. They didn't. Cool. If they have Swords to Plowshares here, that's very bad. Okay, sweet. They scoop. Oh, that was a little roundabout from me. Sorry if it took me a second to find the winning line. I'm trying to think about ways I could have piloted that differently. I don't think I took too long to find the winning line, just because it took me forever to find the Shifting Woodland. One tiny, tiny, tiny mistake I made at the end is that I should have manually tapped Shifting Woodland for green mana. So it really didn't matter at that point. On my last turn, I also should have drawn with the ring before I started making decisions, but I think we did good here. I mean, we won, so can't complain, but, you know, I'm learning a new deck. I'm trying to make it better. Even though I've already played, like, what, 15 games on it, I could still learn to play the deck better, and we can learn how to modify it moving forward. So, very good to think through your lines, think through what could have been better, what could have been worse, what was awkward. All right, game 2, the Oko Mirror. We're up against a Bunk Bun. Oh, one lander. This is such a perfect hand without like the one land stipulation. I love these cash grabs to go ahead and filter the hand. We're gonna go ahead and mulligan here, and then we're also gonna get another one lander. I think we're gonna keep this over going to too low on cards. We'll get rid of an extra Fable here, and then we'll Seed of Hope on their end step. We do have Fury as a way to impact the board state if it does get a little awkward. Gigantha is always a creature deck, and it's usually a slow one. So that's why I was pretty happy to keep this hand. We're going to grab Verdant Catacombs, of course. And then here, I don't want to cast Looting right away. I think we're going to go ahead and grab a Surveil land first. Try to hit that third land drop naturally. And if it doesn't happen, then we can loot. Monkey, yeah. You're not going to get too much out of me, though, opponent. My deck's kind of funny. You're not going to hit an energy card, I promise. Yeah, see, that's an Ulamog. You can't cast that. It's also very good for me because they just put a 10-drop in exile. Yep, third land drop. There it is. Great, let's go ahead and play that Fable the Mirror Breaker. We can go ahead and... I don't even know if we should discard the Titan of Industry, because realistically, I want to sneak attack it into play. Yeah, I might, like, discard Fluting instead. Alright, yep, my opponent's not going to be Dash and Ragavan. They're just going to take their time with Amulet. Taking their time. They might Dash Ragavan anyway, and I'd be pretty inclined to trade. Or they might just play Ragavan normally. They're going to dash him, okay. I gotta think about whether or not I want to trade for this. I think the answer is no. I think I value my ability to get an extra mana here a lot. Oh, sneak. Alright, so we can sneak in Titan. That's awesome. I'm actually tempted to get rid of this Fury. Oh, Fury's way too good. We can't think about getting rid of that. Alright, let's go ahead and attack here. We'll put sneak attack into play. This is a bit sloppy. Maybe my execution was really poor here, because we're like really positioned to win the game next turn. Maybe I should have just kept that looting and then said, okay, we'll Fury down their board. But realistically, we can't take 14 damage here. Next turn, we get to, at minimum, double sneak attack these two cards into play, which should be plenty to win the game, I would think. There's no way my opponent can hit me for 14, even with the Johnny Bombardment. Maybe it would have been a little close with the Johnny Bombardment. Hey, that's my Fury. Be back. They might Fury down my token, which would be funny. Yeah, I don't know if I navigated this one correctly. I took some weird choices, though we had like a weirdly constrained opening hand. Also, it's good to get some energy practice in on the video, because this is a top deck. Interesting, we got Boros and Mardu. Or Boros and not Mardu twice in a row. Alright, let's go ahead. We play the shift. Nothing worth copying. What we really want to do here is sneak. Let's go ahead and make the Rhino. And then we could blow up their amulet if we want. I think realistically, I think we just want to make the Rhino and put the shield counter on our 7/7. Actually, put it on our Kiki. Kiki's so good. Then we'll sneak in this Titan here. 1, 2, 3. Like that. Go ahead and swing at our opponent. This right here is going to be 15 damage. We can make it 18 by going up top here. Exactly lethal, as they say. Dope. Alright, the Boros bullying continues. Let's bring in Brotherhood's End, and then also bring in Force of Vigor, because I think that they are probably going to play Blood Moon against us. And then we can go ahead and sideboard out a couple of extra effects, sideboard out a channel. I think I brought in Might last time too. Do I actually want Might? Maybe. Might is okay. Just thinking about exactly what my last cuts are. I got a Titan. I think something like this is pretty good, though honestly I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think about sideboarding against energy. Okay, well, we got the Brotherhood end hand, right? So, gotta be good against energy. They could have a really explosive draw that Brotherhoods is even slow against. Ooh, Seed of Hope, that's good. It's probably worth shocking for. Yeah, I was thinking of taking turn 1 off, but let's shock Seed of Hope. Hopefully Brotherhood's End on turn 3 isn't too slow here. It sometimes can be on the draw, which is very scary. Energy is a screwed up deck that can kill you on turn 4 pretty consistently, and the nut draws can turn 3 you, though it doesn't look like we have that today. I will take a land. I would love to take this Fable, but I don't think I can afford to miss a land drop. Okay, well, there's another land drop, and specifically a red one, which is awesome. Question of whether or not I want to cast Fluting here, and I think the answer is no. I think we want to wait until we have more information on what we want to discard in order to do that. And here we're just going to surveil. Bigger time, Brotherhood's End next turn. I think with double Brotherhoods, we're in control, unless they pump this Guide of Souls to 4 toughness somehow. I don't think they can if they're not playing anything on turn 2. Okay, Fast Monkey, yeah. Dude, I don't even feel like Brotherhood's ending this. What's going on? Alright, you hit God Pharaohs. Congrats. Alright, let's go ahead and get a Surveillant here. We hit like a 7-drop, we can keep it on top and imprint it to Ugin's Labyrinth and then play One Ring. Or we could put it in the graveyard for copying up with Shift. We don't have a creature hit for it yet. Decisions, right? I think we're going to keep that. We're going to put it under the Labyrinth and we're going to hide behind our One Ring for a turn at least. Yeah. Extra mana is good, by the way, if you didn't know that. If we do draw a sneak attack payoff, by the way, we will have enough mana for it next turn, which is why I like this line. So if in the next 4 card draws we draw an Ulamog, we'll have an Ulamog with Annihilator 7. Also forcing my opponent to not dash the Ragavan, meaning I could actually kill it with my board wipe. Yeah, so if we don't draw anything busted, we're just going to Brotherhoods here. Alright. Oh, hey. It's our boy. Okay, well. We're going to play Shifting Woodland. It's going to come into play untapped. We're going to play Sneak Attack. And somebody's getting snuck. Would you like to sacrifice every permanent, my dear opponent? Notably, they're not dead. They have every right not to concede here. But they will. Alright, sweet. 2-0 against Boros Energy. I think this deck is like the Boros killer. Mardu, when they have the black cards, a little bit better. Bowmasters can really help contain these one-ring draws, and Juggernaut Peddlers, of course, fantastic. Discard, Surgical Extraction, you know, that's good against this deck. But when people are just playing Boros, woo, it's time to feast. All right, game 3, we're going to be against Anakarist. Another one-lander. Now people in the comments are going to criticize my 21 land build and say I should definitely have more, huh? Just because this is so close to perfect. If we get the second land, we would do Rumble and the Fable, or whatever. Alright, this is perfect, though. We put back an extra ring. And then we'll have 3 mana on turn 2, 4 mana on turn 3 for a 1 ring guaranteed. We'll probably have 5 mana on turn 3. That's awesome. So 5 mana on turn 3 is really sweet, because if he has Sneak Attack, we can activate it immediately. Though it'll be a little Christmas landy to find the Sneak Attack and the perfect thing to sneak into play that quickly. And if you don't know where 5 mana comes from, 2 off of Labyrinth, 1 off of Foothills, 1 off of the Rumble token, and then 1 off of a third land that we find off of Rumble, probably. But on our first turn, we're just going to Surveil to try and set up our nonsense. Surveil, here we go. Hey, turn 2 Fable? I'll take a turn 2 Fable, man. Alright, it looks like we're up against Show and Tell Gaming. I know it's a little too early to assume, but my opponent does appear to be playing Show and Tell colors with no companion. I didn't use that to influence my decision to keep Fable on top. Do we think Fable on top is bad against Show and Tell Gaming? Should we have tried to Turbo? Should we have tried to like Rumble instead to get the Turbo? I think so. We're on the play here. We are going to use Fable to dig 2 cards deeper, and then we can just Rumble anyway and still try to win pretty early. Ooh, Fotsy's me. Okay. Take my ring, makes sense. Oh, maybe it's Control Andy. Hey, a ring. I mean, I want to resolve that ring. I think we'll get rid of Grab, because I'm interested in both Ring and Rumble as cards. Let's go to Combat Attack. And we're just going to slam 1 ring here. I'm going to assume they don't have a Spell Piercer or something to interact with this main deck. If they do, I'm going to be pretty mad about it. And we can see exactly what they're playing once they fetch here. Oh, it is Sultai colors, okay. Draw a card. Ooh, that's a sneak. We have the potential to do something stupid if we draw the right cards off of Ring. Stupor. Oh, Show and Tell. Okay. Well, have a Sneak Attack. Just an Atraxa. Okay, this game's winnable. Especially with Sneak Attack in play. Oh, it's very winnable. Okay. So if we hit another Ulamog with this Ulamog in exile, we will win. If we don't, it gets dicey. We can, of course, return this Ulamog to hand, but then we won't have Ulamogs in exile. That's pretty bad. Another thing that we could do is return the Ulamog into hand and then draw, like, Fury. Fury exiles a red card from our hand, right? We have a lot of draws here, so let's draw with the 1 ring. Draw with the Rumble as well. Oh, it's a Fury to exile a red card. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do that. Let's return this to my hand. Turn this to my hand, exile Fable with Fury. We'll have 3 counters, so my guy will have Annihilator 3, which I think is going to be good enough. Is there a way for me to kill this Atraxa otherwise? I don't think so. We could also Rumble. Actually, Rumble is not free. There's no way for me to Rumble and return this to my hand. Okay, let's return this to my hand. Then we're going to Fury. Evoke this out. Deal 4 damage. Looking the wrong cards. Alright. Sneak you in. So my opponent can keep just the Atraxa. If they want. But then they'd run out of lands. Annihilator 3 really does not win, though. Alright, yeah, they got rid of all the lands, kept the Atraxa, went to 1. I didn't want to attack with this because that gives them a free block. They just gain the life back. I'm going to go ahead and play Woodland here. So I think between One Ring and Rumble, we can hit another really good sneak target here. And my opponent does have to, like, beat my ass down with Atraxa. So almost anything goes here. Alright, draw a bunch of cards. That's an Inferno Titan. That's probably good enough. Let's go ahead and tap like this and Rumble in case we hit something even better. It could, of course, be a Stifled Gamer, as we know. We didn't hit anything worth having. Yeah, none of this stuff is worth it. I mean, I guess we can take a ring. Okay, let's go ahead and sneak Inferno Titan into play. Damage to you. And then what's really cool is we can now copy it. More damage to you. Nice, nice, nice. Turn my Inferno Titan sideways, we win. Nice, nice, nice. Alright, Show and Tell is traditionally tough, though. Like, we may very much still lose this BO3. We do get to bring in a bunch of hate against them, so we have all this main deck stuff that's good against, like, Energy and Friends. We could take it all out. I'm also trying to convince myself maybe we can cut the One Ring, because we got to go fast, and the late game card advantage not as important, right? And then we bring in all these hate pieces. We bring in all these cards that are supposed to slow them down. We can do Force as well. And then say we want to take out Fluting, take out Fables maybe. Run the deck back looking something like this. And hopefully our most degenerate lines carry us here. Just seeing, is there anything else we could bring in? You could, of course, bring in Might to try to blow up Omniscience. Not the best plan. Surgical to try to pull something out of their graveyard. But we're not playing discard ourselves, so that's not really a reliable plan in my opinion. But one thing I'll say before we see our opening hand that's really cool about Vexing Bauble in this deck is that all of our like cantrips, hand filtering cards, the Rumble, the Cash Grab, Seed of Hope, they all find it because it's a permanent. So it's going to be very easy for us to find our main sideboard card here. So I think I'm going to be happy to keep this hand that just has like these two like random effects here, because they're pretty likely to find a sideboard card. And if they don't, they set up something degenerate. All right, let's go ahead and shock in. We can do it on their end step. There's no reason to do it now. We don't have to care about our life total in this matchup either, which is cool. So we can play fast and loose. Only we could have a channel in our opening hand every time. Please unrestrict channel and demonic tutor so I can play this deck right. No, don't do that. That's terrible. Well, actually, I'll let my opponent tutor first. I won't let my decision influence my opponent's decision. So my opponent will get to see the permanent that I put into my hand. Seed of Hope. Give me my sideboard card. Ooh, Flute. Cool. I name the card that your deck is named after. Show and Tell. Okay, so now they need 6 mana to do their thing. That's going to buy us time. The next turn we'll get rumbling to set it all up. Alright, let's get ready to rumble. And then we'll just commercial district after to try to fix our next draw step. No, channel, I wanted to draw that. Alright, we really didn't get anywhere yet. Ugin's Lab, no thank you. Don't really need that. We just need a big stupid creature to show up into our hand with us having a sneak attack. We'll play Fable next turn. We could discard this God Pharaohs. We already have one in the bin, but... Hey, 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 hey! No, we're gonna lose. Time to lose. We need better show and tell tech. All our show and tell deck dies to Abrupt Decay. Yeah, there's show and tell. We could put Sneak or God Pharaohs into play. I guess we could put God Pharaohs into play. Well, Sneak's better if we draw a creature off the top of our deck, which is really our only out. Alright, let's just draw Ulamog, right? Alright, oh, we'll speed up their kill. Alright, we'll go ahead and scoop it up. There's a Masterminds, a Dig, and a bunch of things, and that attracts a hit. So they have a guaranteed win at that point, so let's go ahead and run it back. Hopefully our heat pieces stick. Yeah, I'm looking at the sideboard cards I brought in. Maybe we should have more copies of Stone Rain. It's a good proactive way to do with their deck, right? As opposed to one that dies to Abrupt Decay. I would like to not have sideboard cards that die to Abrupt Decay. Alright, we're gonna be on the play for game 3. Oh, it's a channel hand! Ah! Okay, we just need to find something stupid to do with the channel, with which Faithless Looting can help with. So let's keep our 7. If we don't find it right away, we can at least just play the flute. I think this hand is fine to keep off of the Strength of Channel, and having a sideboard card really too. Though I'm not gonna force pitch channel. I don't want to, at least. Faithless Looting, like I said before, is the weakest of like our cantrips, quote unquote cantrips in the early game. So the question is, do we want to just loot on turn 1? Or do we want to surveil? I think what we could do is... we could loot on turn 1. Loot on turn 1. If we don't hit anything, we flute on turn 2. And then turn 3, loot again. So One Ring and a Seed. I'd rather keep the Seed. Because we're just... actually, channeling for a One Ring is pretty fucking busted, right? The One Ring. I do want Seed to try to dig a little bit more. Question of what's my other discard? We can keep the tap land and then Seed. Yeah. Okay. Do this. If we get lucky and spike an untapped land, then we could channel both of these out. Oh, we're getting discarded here. Yikes. Alright, the Channel Drain is dead, unfortunately. I guess we'll have to play fair off of the One Ring. One Ring fair. Most bullshit fair card ever printed, huh? No, that's Oko. Oko has the crown of the most bullshit fair card ever printed. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's an obvious really to take flute and not channel. Interesting. So Channel Ring isn't going to win me the game. I think I'm going to Seed of Hope and channel next turn. Oh, God, Pharaoh's Gift, yes! Okay. Seed of Hope to put something else in the graveyard next turn? Big. So next turn we're going to channel these two things out. Hopefully Seed of Hope a big fatty into the graveyard. Might not happen, though. But at minimum, we'll get a Ring and a Pharaoh's Gift down. This one might just win this turn off of a Dark Ritual. DT, yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead. We can Seed first, in case it changes our decision somehow. Alright, no big fatty, unfortunately. I think it's still very much fine to channel here. We are very much going to want to put this card into play. We don't want to put the other one into play, though. And we just need a big fatty to show up in the graveyard. Next turn we can loot and foothills. So we get a surveilland and a loot. That's 3 looks to try and put something big and stupid into our graveyard. If it's an Ulamog, we win on the spot. Our opponent is not casting show until this turn. That is awesome. So we have a turn. We have a chance. We can win this. Even Inferno Titan wins at this point, actually. Wait, what are you doing with that mana? Hey, what's that mana doing? Alright, might as well draw. Drew a bauble, which is awesome. Oh, cash grab fills the graveyard more than looting does, so let's go ahead and do that. Took the bauble. So we didn't hit a big stupid, unfortunately, but we hit some baubles, so hard to complain about that. We will do the 1 surveil, like I said I would. Heart of the cards. It's just another ring. I will draw that, though, so that we can have the option of legend ruling. And we'll put a bauble into play. Just so that if they cast Show and Tell into Abrupt Decay, we'll have 2 baubles, and then it'll be very, very difficult for them to beat that. Okay, they Abrupt Decay the first one. Sure. But they will need a second Abrupt Decay for the second one. And we have a third even in our hand. I did think for a second about maybe getting an untapped land instead of the Surveil, so that I could play all of the baubles. So they need another removal spell here, or they just need to untap and spend 4 mana on Force of Vigor next turn. It's like they're thinking if they have any outs right now, or anything that they could really do. Looks like they don't. Awesome. So I'm going to draw a crap ton of cards. Hopefully hit a big stupid. Yo, where's my big stupid? Wanted to loot my big stupid away. Bruh. I could cast looting. Try to win. Yeah, let's try to win, right? 2 more deep. We're pretty likely to hit a big stupid. No big stupids. Alright, let's discard an extra sneak. Let's discard extra sneak and a God Pharaohs. We have 1 more seed of hope to try and hit it with. We did sideboard out some of our stupid creatures, though, so maybe that's what I got. We can play another bauble into play, and then I think we have our opponent pretty locked out with double bauble down, unless their card in hand is Force of Vigor, in which case I should have a triple bauble, and maybe I should have played that instead of trying to Heart of the Cards Yu-Gi-Oh! With my Faithless Lootings. Yeah, you know, guys, I think I should have played safe. It's not like they have an effect that blows up all of the artifacts, right? They can decay one of them. That's what they're going to do. But then what about the other one, opponent? Can't hit both. Okay. You're going to put it back on top of another Mystic? I have the 4th one in hand. Okay, assemble a team? Sure. Yeah, paying mana for that like a good citizen. This game's so goofy. We've gone through this many cards in our deck. I didn't sideboard out all of my hits. Yeah, I have 4 Ulamogs, a Titan of Industry, and an Inferno Titan in my deck. That's 7 creatures. I think you're pretty likely to hit 1 out of the 7 in your top 33. But that's okay, because we're going to draw 5 more cards next turn, 7 if you count the looting. I think we're okay. My opponent will be paying mana like an honest citizen for their dig through time. Look at this honesty coming through from the show and tell player with Omniscience in play. There's honesty right there. Great. Okay, my opponent, shocking. What you got? Veil Summer? Oh, pick your poison. Sacrifice an artifact? Well, I don't want to sacrifice my 1 bauble, so I guess I'll sack my ring. Hurts me a bit to sack that ring, but not the end of the world. Aha, there's our big stupid. Took you a while. Let's play another bauble just in case. And then we can discard our big stupid. And now we win. Oh yay, yippee, we could even stone brain them. Bad Pharaoh's Gift. Big stupid. You die. Oh my god, that was a long-winded game. I only had to draw 36 cards to get there, guys. Oh my god. All right, let's get one more in for the video. All right, game 4, we're going to be on the draw against no companion. All right, this is the time that show and tell is going to annihilate us. We're running too hot. All good things have to come to an end. This is a hand that does sneak attack eventually. I mean, it does. Is this a great hand? Not really. We get to surveil. If we draw a big creature to imprint, we get either One Ring or sneak attack on turn 3. We have Fury to defend ourselves against creature decks. This isn't guaranteed to be a creature deck, though. I'm going to keep this. This could be a very bad keep. Green. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not show and tell. We are saved. Once upon a time. All right, gamers, cast it after you take a draw step. Once upon a time, that is. Oh my god. Playing mono green gaming. What is this? Ooh, ramp. Oh, you got the green flare too? I was actually thinking about putting green flare into this deck and changing the ramp package a bit. Don't play Rumble, but instead play green flare, or maybe play both. Hard to fit everything into the deck, right? Ulamog, you get my hand, of course, because what we're going to want to do is Ugin's Labyrinth and print you. Ugin's Labyrinth and print you. Yeah, that seems pretty good. Ugin's Labyrinth and print the Ulamog. Shifting Woodland. We have a ring. I'm just gonna grab another red source. We have Fury Mana next turn if we so desire, but realistically what I want to do is cast Sneak Attack and sneak out my Titan, probably. The only argument against that is that I might want to sneak out this Ulamog eventually, and I'm going to want to exile a red card to Fury, and Inferno Titan might be that card. We'll see what my opponent's up to, though. Maybe I do just want to jam the sneak and not activate it. If I draw another red card, I kind of solve my own problem, though. Oh, we drew another Ulamog. Huh. Well, gamers? Let's kill him. That is a 10 mana card in exile. My dearest opponent, you are dead. You are dead, 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 dead. You have the right to not concede, though. You are not technically not dead, of course. Are they actually going to stay in it? What a champ. Unfortunately, it's not meant to be for them. Alright, Field of the Dead Gaming. This might be the 2024 primetime build. I'm down for it if it is. Yeah, let's just assume it's primetime Field of the Dead. What do we want against that deck? No, what do we want against that deck? Stonebrain? I don't think we want to overboard against them, really. Probably take out a Fury. I don't think Fury's too relevant against them. It's not like you can Fury a primetime, and it's also not like you want to Fury this stupid thing, right? What are they going to bring in against us? They're probably going to have something, so we can even cut a few. We can probably cut all the Furies and then instead just bring in Artifact Enchantment Heat. That seems pretty good. I think Surgical is too loose. I think Disruptor Flute also probably too loose. You could also always Disruptor Flute prime time. Well, then they just cast Natural Order. They have 2 nasty cards that they can cast, so it's hard to flute it. Yeah, we're just going to try to race them. I'm pretty sure this deck can race a prime time. Okay, we get to channel out a God Pharaoh's Gift. That seems good to me. Obviously, we don't have a stupid card in our graveyard, but that can be remediated. We'll get at least a Surveil to try and put something into our graveyard. But I'm not going to say no to God Pharaoh's Gift this early. So let's... Oh, I'm doing this on my main phase, very sloppy. I should have waited until my opponent's end step, but... Surveil here, Rumble on top, very good. In fact, I think I'm just going to Rumble... Oh, it's high noon. So I can't even channel into GPG. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to Rumble. I'm going to try to put something busted in my graveyard. We failed to do so, but we at least got a One Ring. Fine. I might force down this High Noon on their end step and then just channel out these two cards together. That seems like a pretty good plan. Obviously, we don't have a big stupid in our graveyard yet, but we can solve that problem on a later turn. Especially with our opponent missing land drops, let's just go ahead and do it. Force, pitching force. My turn. Hey, 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 look who it is. I would need him to go into a graveyard somehow. Let's go ahead and exile him for the time being. Then channel, just to save 2 life. Right, nothing in graveyards, but that's fine. We're at 10 life, we got a 1 ring in play. We have the ability to try to surveil something to a graveyard. Oh, yo, what the hell? This was on my sideboard tier list. It was. This is a card on my radar, but god, I haven't seen this cast since before Modern Horizons. That's a good one. We still have lots of draws that are great here, though. We have a 1 ring in play, so we're very likely to hit those specific cards. Sneak attack, very cool. So let's just play that, and then next turn we sneak in the Ulamog. We could return Ulamog this turn to our hand, and sneak attack him in next turn. I don't want my sneak attack in blown up by another artifact enchantment hate spell. That's what I'm concerned about. I mean, if that happens, then we just keep going, right? Yeah, then we keep going if that happens. If they blow up my sneak attack, so be it. We'll use these dig spells to find either another sneak attack or a Shifting Woodlands. It's high noon on the Oko Corral. Alright, pretty sure the game's over here. There's a looting. Put that in the graveyard. I mean, there's a 6-drop in exile, by the way. Good old downsides to mechanics. What's in exile for me? Oh yeah, the Force of Vigor that I pitched. Well, anyway, Annihilator 6. You having fun, opponent? I'm having a lot of fun. Oh, this deck's dope. Okay, we definitely ran hot this video because, I had some losses right before I recorded. We definitely did run hot a little bit, but this deck is dope. Please continue to work on this. Continue. Oh, no, wait, that's the wrong version. I was thinking about putting Flare into the deck, like I said. This was my idea. I don't know if it's good. I don't think it's good. Don't copy that. This version is at least good. At least decent. Maybe there's a better version that we haven't discovered yet, but this is pretty good. This has been getting me some wins. It got us 4 in a row today. That's pretty good. But again, we're running hot. We got Boros Energy, which I established is a stupidly good matchup for us. They do not have the proper tools to fight back against us, and we're main decking Fury. We also got paired against Primetime, which that deck's been out of the meta for a while. We didn't even see the card Primetime get cast in the Primetime deck. And then against Show and Tell, we did get like stupidly lucky drawing 4 Vexing Baubles. So we definitely ran hot, but this deck is sweet. This deck is awesome. It does some stupid things. We got a channel hand as well. Like before I was recording today, I actually had a channel Ulamog turn 2 hand, and it was disgusting. So I definitely recommend picking up this deck. It seems legit. I don't know if it's gonna take over the meta. I don't know if it's ever going to, become tier 1. But this is definitely going to be like a solid strategy in the same way that Shift and Tell was a really cool Shifting Woodland strategy. I'm thinking this could be a little better than Shift and Tell in ways. It's better in ways, it's worse in ways. Having blue and Shift and Tell is really, really powerful. I like having access to those Eldrazi that are in the deck. I liked having access to Ugin's Binding. But this deck also has access to other things. Fury is a replacement for Ugin's Binding here. We have a sneak attack backup plan, which is really sweet. I think the sneak attack backup plan is a bit less likely to backfire than your show and tell backup plan. This deck is definitely harder to sideboard against than Shift and Tell, because any free spell hate does not really stop it. Pithing Needle has a really tough time stopping it because there are 2 separate effects that you need to needle. And if the game does go too long, you can spend 7 mana on a God Pharaoh's Gift. I've done it before. It's a little goofy, but it has happened before. And they can, of course, hardcast Inferno Titans. Did we do this on the video or when I was playing by myself before the video? I can't quite recall, but so hardcasted an Inferno Titan today. This deck is really sweet. There's multiple ways to build it. I'm curious if you have an idea. I think if you wanted to make some changes, you would have to retool it quite a bit because these cards, these green cards plus the mana base kind of come as a package. If you wanted to remove a bunch of these, you'd have to like redo the mana base to be a bit more traditional. You could redo the mana base to be more traditional and play Deathrite Shaman and whatever. I'm just telling you, if you do that, you're going to want to make some pretty significant changes to how the deck is built. Probably keep Rumble in, but you can cut these cards and increase your land count probably. Yeah, join the Discord if you want to cook on this deck. I'm gonna keep working on it, keep playing it. If you have a cool version, I'll play it on the channel in a couple days. See you then.